Welcome to another firearms and safety YouTube. What I have for you today is a continuation of our series, Purpose Built, and really it's just a understanding of, or just helping people understand why behind the firearm, why behind every choice behind the accessories that you see on this, and yeah, just really helping people think this through, mainly because, a lot of people care about upvotes, cool points, X, Y, and Z, but experience, I find, is the best teacher. So, with this being said, the purpose of this firearm is to fully suppressed, fit into a backpack or book bag, whatever you want to say, whatever you call it, fit into that backpack and be able to go with me as I go about my day. So this is it does fulfill that purpose. Thankfully, it's just a hard thing to find. You could go with PCCs, a 9mm, but I do enjoy the ability to use 300 blackout supers and subs. Now, the other thing is that you could put this in the bedside, which is great, and really I'm trying to reach anything from 150 yards in. I have shot 200 yards with subs with this. It is not an easy shot, but also I'm trying to, I want you to start kind of thinking real world, real purpose kind of thing. When can you legally, or self-defense, or claim self-defense from 150 yards out? So that, that was a big decision behind going with something shorter rather than something longer. And I do like the 300 blackout round because that does give you some penetration with the heavier bullet than 9mm. So with this being said, let us begin. We will start at the suppressor. This is I did a little rattle can job, just the dish soap, and spray paint and dish soap is how I got that done. But this is a Cat Dirty Dave, and with this I can shoot supers, I could shoot subs. It is a very light titanium suppressor that performs well. This is not its intended host, or and it's not its intended round. And so for that, you'll get a little bit of suffering in regards to performance. This is really made for that, like 13-inch 308. But if you look at the pressures and the optimized pressures on the CAT website, you'll see that this says something to, I believe it's like 2,800 feet per second. And so the closer you get to that, which you do get pretty close with some 300 blackout supersonic rounds, the better performance you're going to get. And just, I do have a video on the channel comparing this shooting supers to a CGS Hyperion, and CGS Hyperion is like 4 inches longer. You can barely tell the difference. So with subs, doesn't perform too well, but end of the day, I'm not really looking for performance with this. If I ever have to use it, it's, maybe 1 to 5 shots. And without ears, with the subs, it's not too good, but I've had friends tell me, again, that varies depending on your hearing damage or the amount of damage that you've been exposed to over your life. And so if I want to go real quiet, I'll go with this this cat mob here, which is I had a spray paint on here, and you could tell that I shoot it mainly because that spray paint's cooking off. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about this is the ability to swap out the suppressors. I'm going to put a cat rat on here, and then I'll kind of leave it alone. But I did enjoy shooting the cat mob out of this with subs exclusively. And then for the hub, these are both hubs, and they're both titanium. But I do, I got tired of messing with these, the Sig taper adapters to give that the 90 degree shoulder. And I didn't want to use a typical 5/8 by 28. I wanted to use one that was specific for the Sig. I want to stop messing with this because the purpose of that's the thing. The purpose of the Cat Dirty Dave is to fit in the bag suppressed. And if you had about a 1/2 inch, it could jeopardize that. And, that would affect the purpose. And so not a big fan of that. I am a big fan of the Cat Mob Suppressor. I am a big fan of the Cat Dirty Dave. They have both treated me very well. And so This is just a Sig finger stop. I do have a heavy C-clamp usually, so I'm not risking having my finger, out here. And with, continuing on, got the emissary development. I can't remember which one this is. It's a little hand guard or whatever. Not a hand guard, but hand stop. And I do like this a lot. It's just, it feels good. It feels good. One word of warning though, if you're carrying this around like the yard like I am, excuse me, what you'll see is that you will have, these can poke into your leg. So basically, if you have one of these, anything here, it could poke into your leg as you're walking. Doesn't make it too enjoyable. One word of note regarding the suppressor and this platform. This platform took a while for me to get going. It's not perfect. I had to send this back to Sig twice. I have a video on that, and there are some build quality issues, if you will. But that's, I'll cover that. That's already covered in the other video. And just continuing on, we have that SD handguard, which is pretty solid. This comes with the Canebrake, highly coveted. People really, really want these, but mainly because it allows you to tuck in that suppressor, which is really nice. Continuing on, we have the Cloud Defensive Rain 3, and yeah, the Rain 3.0. It is a beast of a flashlight, and I do have this cap. I think I got it from the Cloud Defensive website. But yeah, I mean, look at how that's just solid. And actually, let me focus on this a little bit more right now. Just give you this little angle that you can see from. This light, what I really enjoy about it is, one, it's super bright. Two, by the way, you're looking at the Gen 1 switch. They now have a different switch where it's basically half the size, and you get to pick whether you want it to be constant or momentary. You can also get one that's that's just like this, except it's way, way flatter. So this is a little much thicker than the other one. I have that on my Radian, but I didn't feel the need to replace it. Big reason why I went with this flashlight over other ones is not a big fan of Mod Light, and the Surefires I like, but personally I hate their wiring system that they've got going on. It's very finicky, and I've seen so many of them fail. I just said, you know what, I'm not going for that. One of the big appeals about Cloud Defensive is that it is a American company, and with that being said, they have a lot of innovations. And how can you innovate a flashlight? Well, you can make sure that it runs on 2 different independent circuits. So that means if this fails, the click cap fails, that means this will continue to work because the circuitry is independent. If that fails to work, if your push button fails to work here, the switch up here fails to work, then you can go ahead and go with the clicky cap. So to me, it's some of those small improvements that end up making all the difference. They also have a patented battery kind of holder where you screw it into the right depth. You kind of seat it to the depth of your actual battery, the one that you'll be using, and it's never going to move. So that's a pretty big thing, and I found that to be a big plus in regards to using the Cloud Defensive Rain 3.0. I was going to go with the Micro, but honestly, I like the battery life because I use this so much. I use this every night. I use this, when I'm out in the yard taking a look at the property. I'm always using that light. So it really helps brighten things up, for lack of a better pun. Continuing on, we have the EOTech, the 300 blackout one. Got some, actually, I don't remember where I got these, but these are the flip caps. I keep them on there for storage really, but I do enjoy them. This is the 300 blackout specific EOTech, which just means it has 2 dots and then it gives you some zeros up here. So there's some holdovers over here. I do like this. I could have gone with a riser, but frankly, I don't. You're trying to keep this compact. You're trying to fit this in a bag. I don't need an extra 2 inches, making it taller over here. But yeah, usually I'll keep a regular size mag, this is a 20 round mag. Usually I'll keep a regular size mag in there or keep some in the bag. And then one thing I want to say before I forget, because we covered the Optic, which I really, really like. I could do a 1X primary arms. That would be really cool. But the one thing that I have an issue with regarding the EOTech is I hate the push button personally. So I was going to go with the lead and steel LP1, but they're ridiculously expensive for a company that has not much of a reputation compared to EOTech. So I'm not going to go with, I'm not paying $700 for a company that's barely even heard of. And sure, I've seen a couple YouTube videos, but they don't have the rep that EOTech does, plain and simple. Here we have a Vikings Tactical 2-point sling, and I have the wide padded one, so you can see that I've used it quite a bit, and I do recommend those slings. I do like them a lot. So moving on, we have the Die Free Co. Kung Fu grip. Whatever about the name, but the way that it fits perfectly. I do like that vertical. It just helps me control this whole firearm much more, because when you do have this gun, the front end is pretty heavy. It's just way, way heavier than it should be. The build quality really is not there as well, but I'll cover that into my review. But it's very front heavy. Now, it's good in regards to helping control recoil, but it's not good in regards to pretty much everything else. Ounces equals pounds, as they say. Now, I do love this grip. It is fantastic. I did get that insert here. It just allows you to put 2 batteries in there. It also gives you a little bit more of a surface. I found that of the 2 that I have of these particular inserts, one was falling out under fire. So I was not too fond of that. And, continuing on, I would give this a thumbs up, though. I really like that pistol grip. Moving on, we got the regular charging handle. I was going to go with the Radiant. I actually have it. It's just still in the packaging, but I just stuck with the regular stock charging handle that comes with this particular firearm, and I thought it was all right. There's just, it hasn't given me any problems, so why change it, right? But yeah, let me see. Am I covered? Basically, the last thing we've got is it's a brace, and it's from JMac. If you know anything about JMac, I believe they 3D print these, which is really nice. That's the arm brace. I've got it connected to a Gearhead Works tail hook brace, and it's a 1C. This is the mod 1C, so it's a smaller one. It is a brace, so this is kept in pistol configuration, mainly because, some permits don't allow you to walk around with an SBR. So having this in the pistol configuration gives me a little bit more flexibility. And anywhere I've got a permit, I'll be good to go. We did have that 0.75 inch riser. This is not needed when you're not running a riser for your Optic. I just thought it was a good idea. Personally, if I could do it again, I would go with the 0.25 inch, or I wouldn't go with one at all. And I was going to put a bunch of med tape on here, but it just ruins the look. So I just, you can't have that. I do have a med kit in my bag, so that would be just fine. But I got this whole thing from JMac, JMac Customs, and I'll tell you what, it's really solid. I mean, it's done very, very well for me. And rain, dirt, shine, this thing runs, and I do enjoy it. But I hope that going over this has kind of helped you understand the thinking behind everything that I've put on here. Could I have some fancy stuff? Sure. Could I have, a riser and a folding thermal and all this other stuff? Sure. But this is not what I need it to do. And frankly, I think that that's something that people might need, or it would be cool if people learned that, just stuck to the not necessarily the basics. And I don't want to get all preachy here, but it would be cool if people just understood the purpose behind what they have, because it just seems that a lot of folks don't. I see a lot of questions, and I see a lot of, oh, should I get this high-speed gear? Get what fills the box. Get what checks the box. And so, that's that you'll come and learn over time, but That being said, I don't want to draw this out. Hope you'll have a great day. Thank you for your time.